Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new edition of Getting Color right here on the BigVitoBrand.com. And I am Virtue, being joined, as always, usually as always, with Big Vito LaGrasso, former WCW Hardcore Champion. What's up, man?
How's everybody out there? This is the BIGV from the LOG coming to you live, baby, live. Another episode of Getting Color. And we have an action packed, stack card. Um, Guys, before we get into it, David, I kind of got a question for you.
Okay.
What do you think about going live on Twitch next week?
Well, yeah, if that's what you want to do, and then you already have it recorded on your end. I don't have to send it to Noel. We used to do that, I think, back in the day.
Yeah, well, I mean, what do you think about doing that now? And then you load it up on your no DQ, right? For Aaron Riff, old Nature Boy.
Yeah, yeah.
So we could do that. If you take a copy of it and put it on his thing, that would be great. But I wanted to get your feedback, and if the people are listening and they want to see us live and they want to contribute, do we need a moderator or anything like that?
I don't know. I don't think so. And if you do Twitch, live is the way to go. People like live on Twitch.
All right, so guys, let's look for updates this week on going live, baby, live on Twitch, Getting Color. We'll come up with a time, and let's see how it works out. Let's see if we get some feedback, and we'll see how it goes. Does that sound good with you, David?
Absolutely.
Now, people, I just brought this to you live. This is the first I brought it up to David, so this is breaking news. All right, breaking news here at Getting Color. This isn't the Russo brand where everything is pre-recorded. This is live. All right, guys. David, lead it off.
LIVE. All right. Well, let's talk about the news that you were just talking about. If this is what I think you're talking about, a memo went out to talent in WWE. I think specifically for the girls, for them to lose weight. Is that what we were reading on No DQ? I did not see it. Tell me about this.
Guys, the memo went out saying the girls are too heavy and they have to lose weight at NXT. 130 pounds is not light enough. This is going back to the Attitude Era where the girls had to be rare, skinny, model-looking Playboy bunnies. So, guys, get ready because for all the curves that you like, they're going to disappear. Now, I mean, I got to tell you, being a wrestler, you need some meat on your bones and you need some meat on your back. You can't be 115 pounds, bump around, and expect to be an expert wrestler. You need some meat on your bodies, guys. Now, I'm not taking away anything from Sasha Banks, or anything like that, but a lot, some of the girls are coming in bigger because they're weightlifting, they're stronger, they're bigger. I mean, it's just one of those things where the WWE is flexing their muscles, and now if you're going to be stuck working for NXT, be prepared for getting on a scale every week, looking at your body, looking at your food intake, and really, really concentrating on being that 90s chick.
Now, we know you're a big Nia Jax fan. She's got some meat on her bones. She's still a tag team champion this week after her and Shayna Baszler defended it successfully against Bayley and Sasha, who, by the way, finally split up. We knew that was going to happen. But Nia Jax is a weekly topic here on Getting Color. You have anything to say this week about your favorite?
Well, let's put it this way. She's doing the heel thing. Okay. Yeah. Now, like I said, we're not burying her. We're complimenting her what she's doing. I think the I Love You Mom on the when she won the title was a bit much. But if she can keep this heel persona going and not ruin it with TikTok and stupid videos, I think she'll be successful. Now, with that being said, Virtue's got some breaking news of his own that'll lead into this because I think that was a good topic. By the way, Nia Jax, I do love your TikTok, so you're my girl, you're my dog. Go ahead.
There you go. WWE, and I think this was because something Lana did on her Instagram that set that broke the camel's back or whatever the saying is. And she did some type of advertisement under her real name, monetary advertisement. WWE, Vince McMahon specifically, recently held a conference call. I think it happens in less than 30 days, banning all talent from using third-party services to promote their brands or even under their real names to make money outside of WWE. independent contractors. What is going on here? Big Vito.
You know, guys, when we talked about my lawsuit, I talked about being an independent contractor, having health benefits, doing everything. Everybody mocked me. Everybody shunned me. Everybody had something to say negative. And look, 5 years later, what's going on? Now, if President Trump wasn't Vince McMahon's buddy, this thing would have been settled a long time ago. But because we're up for re-election and the Democrats have said, you're breaking the law, we're going to come after you, Vince McMahon. This is a very sticky situation, guys. And if you're a private contractor, why can't you promote yourself? Why can't you make money? Why can't you have other avenues of business? Please tell me why. And the fact that he said, I own your character name, I own your real name. Now, ain't nobody owning me, and I don't think these are the days of Kunta Kinte where you could be owned. And this is
Exactly.
not a racist remark. This is what's happening here. You know, here you have a big time business owner claiming he owns you. That's disgusting. Nobody owns me. I'm my own man. You want to take my birth name from me? Who the hell do you think you are, Vince McMahon? You're a disgusting human being. Go ahead, Virtue.
Well, like a fence contractor, right? They can work for this company and as an independent contractor and build a fence around their company. And guess what? While they're doing that, they can negotiate with other companies and build fences around there. Now we get when you're working, in the entertainment business, the certain things in the contract where you have to be exclusive to that brand. But for them to try to control every aspect of these human beings, like unless they're going to give them a pension, health benefits, 401k, whatever, profit sharing, like come on, like it's ridiculous. It's really it's a power trip. And maybe they write these contracts up and the talents are so happy to sign them. There's these loopholes and Vince McMahon has them all by the
Yeah,
throats.
but but Virtue, listen, you work in the real world and you have a real job, a good job, where you deal with the public. And nobody owns anybody, especially in your line of business. I mean, like if you work for me, hey, that's great. But you can't own everything I do. If you're an independent contractor, you should be able to work for any company you want. You should be able to do this, do that, do the other thing.
Yep,
Why
I agree.
why are you exclusive? If you're not an independent contractor, that means you are an employee. You're entitled to workman's compensation. You're entitled to health benefits, a 401k plan. They don't want to pay those things. And that's what the fight is today with all the people who put their bodies on the line and then have nothing to show for it at the end of the day. Now, the WWE network, I got a whole bunch of stuff on there. And guys, guess how much I make? Zero.
Yep, crazy, man. Well, this is interesting because we didn't talk about this last week because I think it broke after the show. Brock Lesnar is technically a free agent. Now, here's what my take is on this.
Right.
Um, he's using this time to negotiate to get his bigger payday with Vince McMahon, right? He's done this in the past. He could be maybe going back for one more match in UFC, right? I mean, yeah, he says he's retired from there, but you never say never. I doubt he's going to AEW. They can't afford him. So I want to know, is this just Brock Lesnar? Is this WWE creating a buzz? So we're thinking Brock could go elsewhere and then all of a sudden he pops back up on Raw or SmackDown? Or is he really a free agent and is he bargaining for a bigger payday? What do you think? You've been there, you've had contract. Brock's the biggest draw right now in wrestling, at least until further notice. What's your take on this?
Well, let's put it this way, right? Now, if Brock Lesnar is legitimately a free agent, all right, let's look at the demographic because we're into the demographic. Okay. Hey, was that a mimosa you were drinking? Oh, I'm sorry.
Fruit
All right.
juice.
Anyway, all right. Anyway, if he went to the AEW, who would you put him against? He would be the Goldberg of the AEW because there is not a person, a body in there. Nobody has the experience, the tenacity, the skills. He'd be like the All American in there. And you could do some good programs, but realistically, it'd be the Brock Lesnar show.
Oh,
That's
they'd
what
probably put him against Cody. That's what they would do if that ever happened, because
Yeah,
Cody would
but
have to get the
yeah,
rub.
but yeah, but it's okay to get the rub, but he's gonna do the favor. That's the
Hmm.
whole gist of it, right?
Yep.
So if Brock Lesnar did go to AEW, guys, where does he stand? Does he go through and break Goldberg's record that has not a record that has not been able to be beaten or unattainable, especially in today's wrestling? Does he go for that record? Good question.
Yeah.
My thing is, if he's going to go to UFC, I watched a couple of Dana White interviews. He says he hasn't spoken to Brock. They did say that he has to go on the USDC health screening for drugs and
Yeah.
steroids. So he's got to do 6 months. So you say if he did in the next month, he said, I'm gonna go and fight John Jones, because if he fights John Jones has nobody to fight right now.
Yeah.
Okay. And John Jones has called out Lesnar numerous amount of time. The Cormier fight, I don't think Lesnar, that wasn't big enough for Lesnar. But John Jones in the heavyweight division for UFC, I mean, you're a UFC guy. You like John Jones like I do. I could see that being a big matchup, which could lead to a Lesnar Stippich match for the
Yeah.
title, which would draw millions of dollars. I
Yep.
think Brock Lesnar coming back to the UFC would draw millions. Now, how much do you pay Lesnar for one bout? I mean, what do you think he's worth for one night?
I don't know. I don't know how the UFC fundings go, but I would imagine seven figures. But
No,
I
no,
don't know what amount above that.
okay, guys, let's do the math, right? If you have the UFC heavyweight champion and he's not making 3 million, Cormier was making I think 1.5. John Jones was bitching because he wasn't making needles, wasn't making the money, but he doesn't move the needle. You got to move the needle, right? Nate
Yep.
Diaz was complaining, but now Nate Diaz is a $1 million ball player. You know what I mean? And I think he just signed to fight Masvidal uh, for Diaz Masvidal 2 for the BMF title. Just so you know, I keep up with this stuff.
Nice.
So I mean, if you're really thinking, I think Brock Lesnar would be worth a $5 million payday plus incentives, right? And then if he goes for the title, you're talking about maybe a $10 million payday for one day's work.
Yeah, I mean, what do those UFC pay-per-views go for? 60, $80, something like that?
Yeah, but I mean, if you
Yeah.
a Brock Lesnar return, what would you? I mean, when we had Mayweather and the Irishman,
McGregor?
McGregor,
McGregor?
it was $100 a pop.
Yes.
That was big, but it was worth it to go see. So would you say $100 a pop? Now Mike Tyson is coming back.
And I will
Who's
pay to see that, even though it's an
who-
exhibition.
right? Who's the bigger draw, Lesnar or Mike Tyson? How
Interesting.
much? How much do you pay for just for say Mike Tyson comes in at 100,
Yeah.
which is probably it's going to be 80 or 100, right? Is Lesnar worth $150? Uh,
Interesting. Yeah. But nonetheless, this could all be done just for him to go back to WWE. He might even have a deal worked out, and they're just waiting because they want to surprise everybody. I mean, he's been loyal to WWE ever since he returned after his UFC hiatus, that run where he retired after 03 or 04, whenever that was,
uh,
tried football, then he went into UFC. When he came back, 2010-ish or whenever that was, he's been loyal to Vince pretty much since.
Yeah, but anything is negotiable and people move around. But I mean, do you go to the lower tier AEW where it is a lower scale talent where like he really wouldn't fit in there because he's that good. So I think that,
Yeah, I agree with that. He
I
shouldn't, and AEW shouldn't give him that kind of money anyway. They got their own problems to fix, which, trust me, we will be talking about.
we will be talking about it. So I mean, guys, um, Brock Lesnar UFC, I would put my money on seeing him go back to UFC because he's going to get a good payday because they're always looking for something to move the needle. And you know what? Dana White hates Oscar De La Hoya that much that he would pay the money just to stick it.
Yep. Good point. Look, I want to take a quick break from wrestling. Let's talk NBA bubble. The
NBA
playoffs,
bubble, here it comes.
the playoffs are still going. Interesting series tallies right here. Clippers and Nuggets 1-1. Nuggets beat them up pretty good last night. Raptors are tied now after coming back from 2-0 with the Celtics 2-2.
Right.
Lakers are down 1-0. They play tonight.
Right.
To the Rockets. And in the shocking series, even though they won tonight, Bucks are still down 3-1 to the Heat. What's your take? Who's going to the finals and who might win?
All right. Now, let's start off with probably the best 7-game series we've seen in a long time with the
Well, which one? Oklahoma City and the Rockets or the Nuggets and the Jazz?
Oklahoma City and the Rockets.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Probably the best nail biter of a series where the 7th game, James Harden did not have a James Harden game. Westbrook was ordinary. Chris Paul led the charge. And you talk about a defensive play to win the game out of the ordinary, but still, they pulled it out. Now, were they supposed to win the Rockets? Yes. But Chris Paul is such a pro, and even though he lost, he proved the point. He's better than James Harden. He's better than Westbrook. He is the man because he took that franchise and he won 44-plus games. So who's the better ball player? I'd like to see Chris Paul come to the Knicks. Now, you talk about Giannis and the Celtics, right? Guys, the Milwaukee Bucks have been overrated for a long time, and it's just been Giannis. And the Boston Celtics have a much, much more rounded team, well-rounded team.
They're losing to the Heat right now. The Heat is up 3-1 on the Bucks. Celtics and Raptors are tied 2-2 now. Or right. Are you picking the Celtics to get to the finals? I don't know.
I'm picking the Celtics to come out of this. Okay. I think the Bucks will lose because I think Jimmy Butler has got the Miami Heat playing some good ball.
Yeah. So you got the Bucks versus the Heat versus the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals.
In the Eastern Conference Finals, I see the Heat and the Celtics.
I
say it's going to go 7 games. And it's going to be a Jimmy Butler, Kemba Walker fest. Okay? And I think Jimmy Butler is going to lead Miami to the finals.
Interesting. What about the West?
Now, guys, the Lakers, right? We could all say they had an easy time with the Trailblazers. They really didn't have an easy time with the Trailblazers. I think they were scuffling to win, and I thought it was hard for them to win. And you talk about Damian Lillard being hurt, and they weren't at full strength. Now, Carmelo played his half, and he did a great job in Game 7. I think he plays LeBron even all the time. I love when he plays LeBron. He destroys LeBron. You know what I mean? But I think the Lakers are in trouble with Houston. I think Houston might have their number because they played they played the small ball. 7-footers and 6'8" guys are non-extinct, and they're not necessary in this series. Them boys are going to run them out of the building. I mean, what do you think? You think LeBron can keep up or no?
I still am I'm not putting money on it, but I'm still going with Lakers and Clippers in the Western Conference Finals. I do like your Eastern Conference Finals, but I say Boston will get to the championship. Now, the story for me would be Toronto versus the Clippers in the finals. But I think Toronto, they're getting that like adrenaline right now, but I think that's ultimately they're just not going to have enough.
Right.
But I think Clippers and LeBron versus the Lakers, and I think Clippers will beat LeBron, and then the Celtics will come out of the East. And I think Kawhi Leonard is going to win his 3rd championship. Again, I'm a Kawhi fan. I'm a Kawhi mark. But that's what I'm going with.
You really think Kawhi Leonard's going to win? You're going to win the title?
I do. Absolutely. He's got he's got Paul George, Beverly, 2 sixth men, Montrezl Harrell, and Lou Williams. Doc Rivers is a great coach. Yes, I know they got beat up last night, but Jordan lost some games too. LeBron's lost games, and you know what I mean. Championship teams have lost games in the playoffs.
Let me ask you a good question here.
I'll probably be wrong, but
no. You make a good point. I want to ask you that. You saw this week where they were comparing LeBron to Scottie Pippen, right? You saw that debate.
I like that comparison,
Yeah, I
but
mean, it's good. I mean, Pippen still has 6 rings, and someone has two or three. Three.
three, yeah,
So who's the better player?
Pippen.
Okay. So now he got all bent out of shape, and he says, that's absurd. That's not being disrespectful because being a good wingman like Pippen was, you don't win 6 championships. You got 6 rings.
Yep.
And think about Steve Kerr, Kyle Korver. I think those guys have 5 or 6 rings too.
You don't mean Kyle Korver. You mean someone on the Bulls. Are you talking about?
No, I'm talking Kyle Korver, right? Wasn't he on the championship teams with LeBron?
Oh, that okay. Later on, yes.
Right. He
Somebody
was in
like that.
he was in
Was it
Cleveland.
Mike Miller or Kyle Korver?
It's Kyle Korver.
Kyle
He's
Korver.
Kyle Korver, I think, is playing for Atlanta, right? But Kyle Korver was in Miami. Kyle Korver is in Cleveland, so he has just as many rings as LeBron.
He's one of LeBron's wingmen. Yep.
He's one of LeBron's wingmen. Now, I got to tell you guys, when it comes to comparing LeBron to Jordan, I think we've seen that ship pass. LeBron's
Yes.
been to 9 finals. You got 3 rings. You got 6 losses. Jordan is 6-0.
Yep. Jordan's the man. So anyway, who's winning it all then this year, Vito? And then we'll move back to wrestling.
I'm going to pick the surprise team, and I say the finals are going to be the Heat
Heat.
and the Rockets.
And who's going over?
Ooh, I think that's a 50-50 because I think those teams are evenly matched size-wise. So I'll leave it as, toss-up. But I'd like to see the Heat versus the Rockets.
Interesting. Well, we will see what happens in the bubble. All right. Here's another bubble, Vito. It's called the COVID-19 bubble. I was shocked that The Rock came out and announced him and his family were positive.
Right.
He's a famous guy, goes to a lot of places, interacts with a lot of people. And then recently in the wrestling bubble, AJ Styles admitted he had a positive test, and so did Kevin Nash. I don't know if these positive tests mean you really have it or not, or they're just saying, hey, I had a positive test. What's your take? I mean, COVID-19 still running wild. COVID mania, man.
I deal with it every day in
I know.
in my own life. So, and where I am right now, just so you know, they've had a significant amount of cases come in recently. It's out there, guys. It's around. AJ Styles getting it, them keeping it quiet. Is Kevin Nash coming out saying he had it, keeping it quiet. The Rock coming out and saying, "Hey, I got it. My family has it." Now, if you got little kids, you got to make people aware. So I mean, it's serious, guys. Take care of yourselves. I know it's flu shot season. Go get your flu shots. Take every vaccine you can. Protect yourselves. This is real. And speaking about that, Renee Young, she got treated pretty badly down at the WWE before she left with a sickness. And they said, don't talk about your sickness and don't talk about this. The most absurd thing I heard today was they put her on a no-compete thing when her contract ended.
Yeah.
How do you put a no-compete on somebody when you are officially not a contracted employee for the WWE?
Yeah,
Tell
and
me.
she's an announcer too, like not a wrestler, just nuts. That's the power they want to hold over you. And it's almost like, I think Vince Russo said this before, the talent can probably take him to court and challenge this, but the power of the WWE attorneys and the money they're willing to lose just to win in court, you can't afford to go to court against them.
It's disgusting, guys. Disgusting. You can't be owned by somebody.
Dude, it's time for the main event here. Okay. AEW had a show last night, All Out. Matt Hardy wrestled a match against Sammy Guevara. Somewhere in the match, Matt took a bump, hit his head, and he was loopy on live TV. Okay. He was taken to the hospital. I'm hearing reports that he had a concussion. Rebby, his wife, all over social media. Tony Khan's coming back saying he was cleared during the event as it happened. They continued the match. There's still no concussion. Everything was cleared. He's getting driven home right now. Vito, this was scary because he stumbled. He stumbled on TV. I mean, that did not look like a work. If this is all a work, masterful plan, but we know it's not.
It's
What
not.
is your take on this?
AEW, you are full of shit. You didn't do no protocol. Don't you know that every wrestler from back 20 years ago, 20 years experience, is going to say, I can finish, I can do
Yeah.
this, okay? And with your bullshit protocol, okay, how does a guy wind up in a hospital overnight for concussion? Please tell me. The Vito Lagrasso concussion lawsuit is still going on. Everybody mocked it. Everybody knocked it. Everybody abused me, ignored me, shunned me, and whatever. We're still fighting it in courts. And these guys today are still doing these stupid, ridiculous fun. I like Matt Hardy. I have no beef with him whatsoever. And his wife, I put it on Twitter today. I agree with you and applaud you 100% because you're right. They don't know when to walk away and they don't know when to stop. Kudos to Reva Hardy for sticking up for her husband because God forbid something happens when Matt goes home. A lot of people don't know all the symptoms, don't know what it takes. David knows because I tell him what's going
Yeah.
on because he's a personal friend. A few people I know what goes on because they're personal friends. Guys, you don't got to do this. There is no such thing as protocol. If you take a bad bump and you're woozy, is it worth it to finish the match for 40 or 50 or $10? Guys,
Nuts.
even on the main event there, guys, right? You're looking at somebody who did a risky bump, then climbed even higher. What happens if he would have fell off that scaffold? What
Yeah,
happened?
that's a good point for everything he did after that fact. Yeah.
Right, everything he did after that. What happens if he would have fell and injured himself, cracked his head open, did something else? I'm gonna end it off with this. Is it gonna take someone to die on TV in front of everybody for everyone to take it serious?
Yeah, and Disco Inferno said the same thing. If at the rate they're going with trying to impress the fans and doing this and not stopping matches when they should, something tragic could very well happen like that. Just
It's the
absolutely,
truth, guys.
absolutely nuts. Well, Vito, another great show. I'll tell everybody on the BigVitoBrand.com Galaxy that I have a fantasy football draft I got to do. That's why we recorded a little bit earlier tonight. And you were so nice and humble to allow me to record earlier with you. Wait, no, we're live, baby, live. But I'm going to jet soon to go do that. So anything else you'd like to tell everybody before we get out of here?
Well, being I'm a good employer, better than Aaron Riff. I know, and the Olive Garden, gift cards have been kind of scarce lately. I know
You're right.
because of the COVID-19.
Yeah,
I know things will happen, and you did take off a couple weeks, paid vacation because you were sick, and then you had this chick stay overnight, you wouldn't leave because you were doing the virtue thing. So I mean, guys, I'm a good employer, not like old Nature Boy Riff. I'm telling you, what a disgusting human being Aaron Riff has turned out to be. It pukes me to death. Pukes
yeah.
me to death. I
Maybe he'll
can't.
come around one day. Yeah, because we got some business to take care of with that guy still, and we got to get our brand over on his brand. So
So listen, guys, we're gonna do Twitch next week. We'll promote it. We'll come up with a time that's good for everybody. And I hope everybody joins us. I hope you'll interact and see what's going on. Join us. Hit the subscribe button for the Big Vito brand. We really appreciate your support. This isn't the Russo brand with a bunch of bums. This is the Big Vito brand where everybody shows a lot of love and has a lot of good time. And we'll be live, baby, live. Virtue, finish it off, and then you can go do your fantasy football.
well, thank you, Vito. You can follow Vito on Twitter at the Big Vito Brand. You can follow me on Twitter at NoDQ_Virtue. Go over to NoDQ.com and check out my Virtues Rage articles. I just put up a new State of the Roman Empire address. So, Vito, it's always been a blast. Every time we do these shows, you have great insight. So, thank you. Make sure you check out thebigvitobrand.com. This is Getting Color. For Big Vito Lagrasso, I am Virtue, and we will see you again next time on Twitch. Thanks for watching, everybody.